All right, let's get to it. Welcome to Head Kick Audio. I got a RUF 46 winner in his professional debut. I got Jose Delgado. Now, check it out. My man's went 4-1 as an Ammy with 2 chokes and a knockout. And then he comes over to the pros and works JJ Nelson in the first round with a choke. Now, it seemed like when you first got out there, you were trying to, feel the moment, and dude came right at you, and you're like, okay, I guess we're gonna fight right here, right now.
Yeah, that's more or less what it went down. I was really hoping to box. I was really hoping to showcase a lot of skill sets, a lot of my varied game and attack. But we'll take what we can take. At all times.
Well, training out at the lab, I'm sure that there was a lot more that you were ready to show, especially as a pro. Everybody wants to show that growth. Like, hey, we ain't Amis no more. This shit counts. This shit matters.
100%. We're allowed to throw elbows and knees. It was the first time I used elbows and knees during the lead up to the fight. I was feeling myself with the elbows, the clinch game. I really wanted to show that aspect. I wanted to show a lot, man. It's been 11 months out of the game for me. But I've been working these 11 months. Even when I broke my hand, I was on the bag every day with my one hand. I was hitting pads, kicking every day. I was putting in my hours every day in those 11 months. I have a lot to show, and we'll show in the next 10 years.
All right, so talk to me about the lead up to the fight. I know you just said that you took 11 months off to heal on that injury, but the lead up to the fight, who was in the camp? Who was helping you get prepped up? Because I'm sure it was a heavy corner.
Yeah, man. I mean, the MMA lab is fucking awesome, and they have everybody, and everybody's just helping everybody. It's just a constant evolution of skills from everybody. Everybody's growing, everybody's improving, and we're all feeding off that energy. Specifically for this camp, I had guys like Greg Foster that was emulating what we thought JJ Nelson was gonna do. In and out, bouncy, a lot of kick. Angel, oh man, I'm gonna butcher his last name. My buddy, I don't know how to say his last name. Angel, we're just gonna call him Angel.
Oh, you're
Angel,
talking about, I think it's
I know how
Antigue.
to spell it. Atiouge. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah, well, I'll butcher it for you. I believe it's Antigue or Antigue or something like that. I've called a couple of his fights. That dude's a stud.
Yeah, he's the man. He helped me out, emulated this guy, and then just everybody else at the lab. Everybody, all the rounds with the best in the world. Benson Henderson, Jared Cannonier, James Nagashima's been a big help throughout the last year and a half. Lots and lots of guys, just everybody in the team pushing me.
Okay, so let's talk about what was the feeling like? Because this is pro, right? So this shit actually like it counts. I know that amateur counts because as a fighter, amateurs count. You want to win every single fight, but when you turn pro, it's kind of like you get a fresh start. So talk to me about that feel. How was that feel? Transition into a crotch shot. Okay, there we go. I like it. That one was for the ladies. But now that we're pro, how did that feel? Was it a significant change, or do you think it was about the same?
Man, I care about this shit so much. I've always cared about this shit since I was 11 years old. I keep the same mindset the entire time. The only difference is the strength and condition was significantly leveled up. It's my strength and conditioning was a joke most of my training career. All the amateur fights, it was just kind of training and then go run my miles like I did when I was a little kid training. But this time, once I broke my hand, really working with a good team at Aries Physical Therapy, helping me out, learning how to actually lift properly and believing in myself as an athlete, and then working with the mad scientist Jared Key here for this fight, really stepping up that strength and conditioning and gave me a lot of confidence to go 3 5-minute rounds as hard as I need to. That was the only difference for amateur to professional.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the celebrations because we saw a little bit at the after party, but I'm sure that was not the end of it. So, talk to me. How do we celebrate in full effect?
In full effect, man, I'm a boring guy. I just want to train. I just want to get back and improve and get better. I don't even think I ate after the fight. Like I don't think I ate anything. I don't know, man. I'm Mexican though, so like just good old home cooked Mexican meals is the way to go. I reckon.
Okay. We got a lot of good Mexican spots down here in Tucson. Me not being authentico, uh, pinchy gringo over here, you know.
Primo, no primo.
Yeah, it's all good, right? But I had some carne asada tacos, you know.
Oh, I like the
So
little got to. It's good.
yeah, yeah. So no victory meal then.
Not really, man. I was I was kind of just I was just processing the fight. I always take a long time processing everything that went down. That's the majority of where my mind goes after a fight. It's just a long processing period.
Well, I'll tell you this much. You had such a great debut, right? And no one expects their debut to quite go like yours did. You didn't take any damage. You look like an absolute fucking killer out there. You look cool, calm, and collected. And when you needed to be aggressive and, take the fight by the reins, you did. What can you take from this fight? You know what I mean? What is there to learn or improve on? Obviously, there's much more to learn and much more to improve on, but you didn't give yourself a lot of work, a lot of stuff to work with here.
Nah, from this fight, there's a lot of things. Like specifically, even 10 minutes before the fight, like Bulldog was telling me he's gonna try and blitz in, and in that we can kind of he used like the Darren Till Robert Whitaker fight where Robert Whitaker will blitz in till caught him with a clean elbow coming in. So being a little bit more ready for his blitz is gonna be is needed. I needed to be ready for that blitz. He was able to close the distance and get that body lock. I didn't react in time to that body lock. I could hear Bulldog yelling two from the corner as soon as the guy took me down. Some bullshit. He's in my corner, but whatever. It's neither here nor there. And working better ground and pound, I want to get more effective ground and pound. I want to be lethal on the ground. I want to be lethal everywhere. So there's a lot of improvements, specifically from the fight.
Okay. Okay. You see, and that's all shit that you and your corner see, right? Those little micro moments inside of the fight that viewers, spectators, fans, opposite corners, and commentators. Those are those little micro things that we don't see that you guys see. Like, hey, man, you shouldn't be doing that shit. You shouldn't be doing that shit. You know what I mean? So you have to be picky and choosy when it comes to your performance because, dude, it went really fucking well. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that was like super, super impressive. Now, I want to know, where does Delgado go from here?
We fight as much as humanly fucking possible, man. It's 11 months of just waiting and to fucking be let go and let the floodgates go. So we fight. We get as much cage experience. We build this shit up. I want to be the best in the world, man. And to do that, I gotta learn. I gotta learn more about myself, and the best way to do that is competition. So jiu-jitsu competition, MMA competition, anything, as much competition as I can possibly get. I'm chasing it. I want it all.
Okay, now relatively unscathed, how soon would we like to get back to that cage?
I think we're looking at early May.
Okay.
Yeah, I think either the RUF card or I think there's an elephant in Milwaukee that I'd like to get back on or get on, whichever one, man. I just want competition, either or.
Okay. And are we at a point in our career? I know we're just, want to know, but are we at a point in our career where we're looking at matchups specifically, or is it just give me whoever the fuck you got?
Whoever the fuck you got, man. It's so hard to get fights for the Lab guys. The Lab has such a big name and a well-deserved name from all the past. They've led the groundwork for us, but like it makes it hard for us to get fights and secure fights. There's a lot of guys in here that should have had multiple fights, and guys that I've been waiting to watch fight, like Hardstyle Teddy, Ivy Nixon. Like that's a guy who needs to fight. We gotta see him fight. We gotta see a bunch of killers fight. So it's whoever the fuck it is, man. I want them all. I want to be the best in the world. That means I gotta go through everybody. So let's go through them now. Why not?
All right, and let's talk about aspirations, right? Because you get in this game to be the best, but where do you think that road is going to take you? Is it a a specific organization, or does any of that shit matter to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think every fighter that grew up watching the UFC, like the UFC is the pinnacle of the sport, and to call yourself the UFC champ really solidifies your career and your legacy. So that's something I want to have done multiple times, you know.
Okay. Okay, so it's the UFC, but not UFC or nothing, but the UFC is where you hope that your path takes you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. You're gonna have to work very hard, but I've seen you in action, so I know how hard you work. And you're telling me that the victory meal was a couple more rounds in the gym instead of, some tacos and some beer. You know what I'm saying? So I think you definitely have what it takes to get there. It's just, you got to get an accumulation of bouts under your belt before, these other organizations start looking at you. Do you have a cutoff for your career?
Shit, man, that's a question. I'm sure every fighter says like, oh yeah, be done by 33, and the love of the game is just so hard to stay away from. 33, 35, but fuck it, who knows? Who knows once I'm there? I love this shit. I can't imagine I won't be loving this shit when I get there.
All right. Now, outside of fighting, now, this is a very difficult question. We've already gone over this before, right? But outside of the fight, okay, outside of the gym, outside of training, that includes training at home, okay? That includes training at home. What are some things that Delgado likes to do?
Man, we keep it simple, man. Hang out with family, hang out with friends, good conversations, go out in nature, go out hikes. But surround yourself with your community and just conversate. Nice and simple, nothing crazy on this end.
Okay. And when you do fight, is there something that you're fighting for? Obviously, to be the best, right? But is there, maybe something that nobody knows about? Like you fight for your family, you fight for a specific family member, a specific friend, something like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much like asking a fighter like what's their why. Like it's a gotta have a big drive. This shit is hard. This sport beats you down. You gotta know your why. I come from, I'm the son of two immigrants from Mexico. I know their story. I know the journey that my mom and father came to this country with. I know their whole background. I know the background of my big ass Mexican family, man. There's 7 of us. I know my siblings' journeys. I know the privilege that I got being in this country. I know the privilege I got having the parents and family that I have, and you know all the work that they've done for me, all the work that my mom and dad have done for me. So it's my family first and foremost, and then it's the lab too, man. Like I came in here when I was 19 years old, and like these guys took me under the wing and helped me out. There's so many people that like it's fucking hard to name, but like James Nagashima, Jared Cannonier, Benson Henderson, John Crouch, Joe Murphy. Like there's the list of names goes on. That's just the lab guys. Like I've been training since I was 10 years old in Yuma, Arizona. The list goes on there from all the wrestling coaches I've had that have helped push me. My first MMA coach, Michael Garcia. There's so many names, man, that help you. Like they say, it takes a village to raise a baby. It takes a village to raise a fighter as well. And just fighting for my village, man, representing Yuma, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, all my people, all my tribe.
Well, I mean, that's a lot to fight for. Does that pressure ever weigh on you?
Uh, sure. Not during training camps. Like, but like it weighs on you, but it also elevates you. Like it has to elevate you. You know, there's the adage of like the water around the boat doesn't sink the boat, but it's when you let the water go in the boat that sinks it. So the water is there for a reason. It helps me get to point A to point B. I need that water. Just gotta make sure we keep it out of the boat.
Yes, sir. Now, how did Jose Delgado get into mixed martial arts to begin with?
Uh, my brother's 14 years older than me, and as far as my memories go, he's always on top of me, beating the shit out of me. Friendly, of course, for the most part. I think so. I don't know exactly, but yeah, man. Just and then it's just big family, big just tough family, friends, always fighting. So there was always just this chip on my shoulder, and I was always the youngest, like the youngest of my cousins, the youngest of my siblings, the youngest. So I was getting punked by my older sisters, getting punked by my brother, just years and years of getting punked and beat on. So I think maybe I just always had that chip on my shoulder, like one day I'll show you all. But and then my brother was a big boxing fan, so just growing up around the house, always watching boxing, always watching the big boxing fights. And then like around 9, 10, I think I watched my first fight. I think it was a WEC fight. I think it was Varner versus Cerrone. Fucking banger. And I was like, oh, that's just the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. And like I begged my mom for like a year straight to like put me in. And then I had like all my other siblings help beg her to put me in. You know, she's an old school Catholic woman. Like she ain't putting her son in that situation. But finally she relented and she signed me up for this local gym. And just the moment I got on the mats, like doing jiu-jitsu, doing kickboxing, doing boxing, I was like, oh, I love this shit. Like it just had my heart since then.
And how does the family take you now a pro, right? Now there's no going back. How's the support and how do they feel about it?
The support's always been there. It was always just a nervousness, you know, which makes sense. It'd be irrational not to be. But I mean the support's always massive, man. Like it fucking feels awesome to see my family before the fight, in the middle, like hearing them in the middle of the fight, seeing them after. It's a great feeling.
Well, I know when I took the post fight picture, I had to like back up pretty far and I had to zoom out because I mean there was a lot of people there to support you. How did that feel to have that many bodies in there?
It feels great, man. We didn't even get all of them, man. We got
I know
filled with tons more people that I didn't even get to see that night. You know, a lot of friends that came out to support. That man, like it's hard to put into words how fucking cool that feels. You know.
100%. Now, obviously, we're looking at a May for the next one, which would be totally awesome. I want to see you, reach these heights. Start, building this career up and taking off. I got the privilege to call your very first pro fight, so that was an honor in itself. And you just, slice through that shit like a hot knife through butter, and that was awesome. So, before I let you go, I would like to give you as much time to thank whoever you would like, my man. So go ahead.
Yeah, man. First and foremost, MMA Lab. Fucking don't know where I'd be without them. They're awesome. John Crouch, Benson Anderson, Jerry Cannonier, James Nagashima. So many people to name. I'll stop it there. But everybody who else knows who they are, man. My family always been supporting me. Appreciate them so much. My management team, my manager Sophia Rose Magana, first round management. Aries Physical Therapy. They were a big help when I broke my hand, and even afterwards, like they've just been helping me out so much. Believe in myself. Jared Akey, the strength and conditioning coach at the lab. I'm sure there's more, man, but those are the ones that come to mind right now. Those people are awesome. They've helped me grow so much.
Well, I mean, you're off to a good start. 1-0 with the finish. Not looking too bad right now, but I'm sure that's just the first of very, very many more to follow. I'd like to thank you for finally settling down for a couple minutes so that we can get the damn thing done. I know you got to jump into practice right now because we're already training for the next one, so that's awesome. But thank you, for just being an all-around good guy and both of us working with trying to get this whole damn thing done. So thank you very much. And whether it's for RUF or somebody else, I absolutely cannot wait to see the next one. I get to see the evolution because I'm sure you're going to be, 10 times better than when you were on Saturday.
That's the goal. Definitely. Appreciate you, man.
All right, my man. Well, you take it easy. Until next time.
Yes, sir. Take care, brother.